Well, today is the day. We are hoping to finish this guy's, also known as Kevin, the porch goose. We're going to finish his St. Patrick's Day scarf. So I did not anticipate that it would take me 3 lives to finish it, but we are close. So I'm going to show you where we are. We are basically, we've been doing a continuous join granny square scarf with all these lovely different shades of green. I maybe made it a little long. That might be my own fault for being too ambitious, but I wanted to use a lot of different shades. So this is basically a scrap yarn scarf. And so now I am on my last row of the continuous join, and I wanted to do something that was going to be a bit of a contrast to Kevin. I wanted something neutral, but not white. I wanted the greens to pop against it. And so what I ended up picking was this lovely light gray. It is called Soft Gray, and it is a big twist find back in the good old days of Joann's. May she rest in peace. I was able to snag this at one of her sales. I did not have clearance sales. I did not have anything specific in mind, but this is exactly the sort of project that I picked it up for. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on using this soft gray to finish up this bad boy. Okay, if you are new here, I put an affiliate link for Kevin in my description. He's a porch goose, which is perhaps a Midwest thing, but we put these little guys on our front porches, and I don't have like a big southern sitting porch. It's just kind of a stoop, really. We put our geese out there and we decorate them for the holidays, as one does. So he had a St. Patrick's Day, or he had a Valentine's Day scarf. He had a Christmas scarf. I had big plans to do more than just scarves, but life is a little busy right now. This season of my life maybe doesn't lend itself to making whole outfits for a porch goose. So I've been keeping it simple. You can purchase really, really cute porch goose outfits on Amazon, and no shame if that's what you do. But I really wanted to crochet stuff for him because I love to crochet and I love to make things for people or geese. So that's one of the reasons I got him, was just to crochet for accessories for him. And if that's the case, I should definitely give it a go. So I will pull out, hold on. Here is his Valentine's Day scarf. As you can see, very, very simple. It was just 3 rows of double crochet. And I wrapped this around him a couple of times, tied it. He looked dapper with this around his neck on the porch for Valentine's Day, but it is embarrassingly long since Valentine's. We've got to get this thing on him very soon and back outside. We did have some big storms over the weekend, and I was very glad he was inside. How is everybody doing today? And if you don't mind letting me know where you're from, I would love to hear a sound off of where everyone is joining me to crochet from. I'm in Kansas, in the Midwest, which is where we love our porch geese, apparently. So welcome, welcome. If you are new here, I'm going to see there's a little button right here that says chat, hide all chat messages are visible. Okay. I'm making chat messages visible, I think. I'm still a fairly new YouTuber, and so sometimes I think I'm doing something just right, and then I surprise myself by doing it quite wrong. I thought I was putting up a notification earlier to tell people that I would be doing a live chat at 4:30, and then in the end, I was unable to make that happen. The one that I had scheduled just kept, I don't know, maybe I scheduled it for the wrong time zone. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't letting me go live with that. And then I figured out that I was live with it and just had a bunch of weird angles of my chin and neck as I was staring down at my phone trying to figure it out. Oh, I was going to try to be better about crocheting in frame. So let's see if I can get this a little bit higher and a little bit down more on my lap. Okay. Yeah, that should do it. I wish I could say that this is the first time that I've worn this lovely shirt, but it turns out I wear it almost every time I don't know, whenever I'm home, I wear it because it's just such a lovely sweatshirt. It's from Passionate Kelsey. She has a YouTube channel and it's kind of vlog style. So she just captures whatever she's working on and she posts it, and it is a lot of fun actually to just watch her work. I don't know why that is, but I really enjoy it. And I'm clearly not alone because she has like 500,000 subscribers, or maybe even more. Like people really enjoy it, including me. She's a delightful person and her personality is lovely. So it feels like she's a bit younger than me by maybe 20. How old is she? She said she's in her 20s and I'm in my 40s. So big sister, little sister might be a stretch, but you know, she's definitely maybe the same age as my oldest kiddos' friends. And so I don't know, she just seems like a cool cat. You could definitely see hanging out with her at a coffee shop and crocheting together. All right, we only have a few more rows. So the way this continuous join is working, I am working through the top of this, and this makes the final part of the second round of the granny square, and it joins it. And then when I get to this end, it will be all done. I think I'm going to do one more row around it to kind of square it up. But I'm gonna hold my final decision until I get there. I think I also want to do fringe on the end of this with the different colors, like maybe a little bit of fringe of each of these greens. I think that'd be kind of fun. We'll see. Again, I'm going to withhold my final decision until I get there, because sometimes you get there and you change your mind. Okay. So is anyone else making anything really fun for St. Patrick's Day, crochet-wise or otherwise? I think I've mentioned on here before that I make a Guinness chocolate cake for St. Patrick's Day, and we are very much looking forward to that this year. And corned beef and cabbage. Oh, I forgot to get corned beef. Keep forgetting, but I do want to get some because that is one of my very favorite meals. And you know, the one thing I don't love about corned beef is that it is so processed. I wish I could get some corned beef that was a little less processed. I wonder if you can make it. It's an interesting idea. If anyone knows, I'd be very open to hearing about it. Okay, we are making some good progress here on this scarf. Welcome, welcome if you are joining me. I took my porch goose Kevin in from the weather this week. He actually stayed inside, which was a good thing because for the first time in, how long have we lived here? 7, 8 years? A while. We actually had the tornado sirens go off in the middle of the night. That has never happened. And so we ran downstairs, grabbed the dog, and slept in the basement. And so I was very glad Kevin was not outside to go flying in the wind, because that would have been sad if I'd lost him and had to get a new Kevin. So that was our exciting start to the weekend. Luckily, I wouldn't say it's a false alarm, but because there was a big storm, but we didn't actually have a tornado touchdown. I guess it's just the conditions were right where it could have happened. You know, it's funny, not like haha funny, but funny that we had a tornado that actually did touch down about less than a mile from my house in my sister's backyard. And it happened so fast, and it was just a category 1. So it did not trigger the tornado alarm system because it just happened kind of unexpectedly. And so the alarm system didn't ever go off, but it sure did rip up the school, one of the fields that it hit, and my sister's backyard. All of the things back there just went flying. Luckily, no one was hurt in that. There was some property damage, like I said, but nothing too bad. I mean, certainly much, much worse has occurred. Okay, so I am on my final granny continuous join. This is very exciting. It's only taken me 3 lives to get here, but we are finally here. Okay, 1, and I am so excited to see how this looks and what I think. And I suspect that I'm going to want to do 1 more round, as I said earlier, but let's just take a look-see. Oh, this is looking rather nice. This might work for me too, if we're being honest. But I will let Kevin be the star of the show with his fancy scarf. My hope was that this kind of looked from a distance, maybe if you squinted and stood on 1 foot, it kind of looks like 4-leaf clovers of different shades. I think maybe that was more wishful thinking than anything, but what can you do? All right, I am going to go ahead and do 1 more row around this in the end. So the wonderful thing about the continuous join is I literally only have this end that I'm still working with right now, but this will be the only end that I have to weave in, because this one I already crocheted it in, so you know, good enough. All right, so 1 more row around and we will be done, son. And this is always fast this way. So there's a couple of different approaches that people can take when you do your first row after a continuous join. And I'm going to show you the way I do it. I tend to do, well, I'll show you when I get there. Okay, so that's just the beginning end. It is just, let's see here. All right, corner, and then we'll go ahead and turn. So the part that I'm talking about for the first row that's a little bit tricky is this part right here. So if you do 2 whole granny clusters into these 2 corners, it makes your fabric stretched out a touch, like every single join becomes a little bit too wide. So the way I do it is I do 1 double crochet right here, and then I start the next double crochet and I do just that first stitch, and then I move to the second side and I do the first half of a double crochet, and then I do that second pull through all the loops with those together. So it's basically a join of 2 double crochets, and then I do 1 double crochet. So I have total of 3 stitches across the top, but it looks like it's 4 on the lower level, if that makes sense. So that is the way I do it, and it tends to not make it too wavy, which is good, obviously. We don't want waviness in our crochet fabric unless we do, but on this one we do not. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I can show what it looks like once it's done. Welcome, welcome. If you are just joining, let's see, chat viewing options. Oops. Top chat, live chat, all messages are visible, and none. I put all chat, so I think if anyone comments, it should show me your comments. So if you are joining me, please feel free to make yourself known and let me know where you're joining me from. That's always the best part of doing lives, is to get to meet people and do a crochet with me. Okay, somehow I'm getting all twisted. Whoops, wrong direction here. There we go. Okay. And a double crochet. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and pause right here to show you. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do one more so that it pulls it nice and flat, and then it'll show how it doesn't make it bunch up, which is kind of the point, right? Okay, Kevin, you are going to look so dapper here in just a second. All right, so you can see here is my normal granny square corner with double crochets, and then 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets, which is the granny cluster, and then I don't do any chains between them, and then a cluster, and then here we go with this kind of fancy one. So I do 1 regular double crochet, and then a half and a half, and those are joined into 1. So across the top, we still have just the 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, that make up the double crochet. There, that's a little more clear. And then in this final one, I do 1 more double crochet. So from the top, it looks like 3 stitches, but from the next level down, it actually looks like 4, because it actually pulls together these 2 corners from the lower level into 1 stitch. So that is how, and then I just go on to the next cluster, and that tends to make the fabric really nice and smooth. It kind of just joins it all, and I love to do that with the same color as the continuous join, because it just makes it kind of invisible in a really lovely way. So obviously, if that is a design choice you want to show off, then that's a whole other thing, and that would look nice too. Okay, so here we go. Another one of these little tricky things. Double crochet and 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3. Oh, one thing I really wanted to talk about while I'm here, and I may end up doing a full separate video on this, is charity crochet. So there's an organization that I like to crochet for called Warm Up America, and they provide blankets to anyone who needs them. They especially look for, people who could not make their own blanket, such as babies or children or vets or elderly people, and they take all kinds of blankets. They also just take squares. So I was thinking about doing some swatch videos, because there's some new yarns that I wanted to try. And my thought was that if I did those swatch videos, I would do them in the 7x9 squares that they recommend, because you can send in those 7x9 squares and make blankets. And they will send out boxes of 7x9 squares to people, or rectangles to people, and people will make those into blankets for people everywhere. Right now, they are running a special drive for babies, and they're asking for baby blankets or those 7x9 rectangles to make into baby blankets. There are some crochet designers who made special patterns just for the occasion, which is pretty cool. I was already planning to do a baby blanket for a charity, and so I may do an extra one, which is pretty cool. Because I would love to participate with them, but I really already was planning to do it with my daughter's, one of my daughter's activities. They do a fundraiser every year to give scholarships to kids who want to participate in it and may not be able to. And so they ask for people in the community to donate things. And some of the donations that I've seen that have been really successful are really practical things, like a visit from a plumber, or like a plumbing service will offer an in-care plumbing visit and that sort of thing. And those are always surprisingly popular because, I mean, who wouldn't want a plumber to come over and check something out for them as part of a prize that they win? And they usually do it via raffle. So you buy raffle tickets, or sometimes they do it as a silent auction. I don't know how they're going to structure it this year, but I'm going to show you real quick what I'm working on. So I am using this yarn, this Bernat Softy Baby, and the color is Baby Baby, and it's actually a really lovely, bright, colorful baby blanket, and it's baby yarn. It's a 3, so it's that sport weight, and it's soft. It's not as soft as some of them. I was hoping it would be a little softer, but it has a little more structure to this yarn. I don't know if that shows very well in here, but you can kind of see that it does actually have a little more structure, but it also is starting to get a nice halo as I'm working with it. So what I am making is just a corner to corner granny square blanket. And this is going to be for them to either auction. Well, here's where I joined, so I will turn it to the other side. But it's going to be a blanket for them to either auction off or you do in a raffle, or however they want to use it as part of that fundraiser, which will be pretty cool. But I've enjoyed doing this pattern, and I've got quite a bit of this yarn that I got from the Joann's Rest in Peace going out of business sale. And so I was thinking maybe I might do that actually for the Warm Up America baby blanket drive as well, because it's just such a good colorway for babies, like boy, girl, whomever. My current plan is, once I get this to about the 36 by 36 size, I am going to go ahead and do an edge on it of white, because I think that would look really nice. And sorry. So right now you can see this corner to corner is just so easy. Like it's such an easy, great way to make a reversible blanket and to make it just the right size. So I'm very excited about this one. I was working on it this morning, and I'm going to keep, this is just my no-brainer project right now that I'm working on. So obviously the Warm Up America is one that I have heard of and am particular to, and then this local one for my daughter's organization, activity organization. I am curious if any of you have been able to do if you know of other organizations that accept crochet, hand crocheted goods for people, or that donate them for a good cause. Because one of the things I have found is that, I mean, I haven't run out of people to make things for yet, but I do also just like to feel like, I don't know, like what I'm doing with my crochet is helping other people in a big way. I don't know. So if you have any organizations that you like to crochet for, I would love to hear about it. And if you want to throw it in the chat, I can add those to the description. I forgot to add the Warm Up America to the description. But that's a really fun one. Oh, Project Linus. I think I've heard of that one. Obviously they make blankets like Linus from Snoopy, but I can't remember what group of kids they do. we've been the recipients of charity crochet knitting stuff. Well, once for the hand crocheted stuff, and then once for a hand tied blanket. Same kid both times. The first one was, she was a NICU baby, and so they had a couple of different like layette sets that volunteers had made that were for NICU babies, and you could just pick which one you wanted. And they had a little hat, and then they had a little blanket, and that was pretty cool. So that was, yeah, it was really cool to be the recipient. And then that same kid got sick one year with the flu, but really, really serious flu. Like, she just could not keep anything down. And I took her to a small local hospital, and they gave her like intravenous stuff to help her be less nauseous and to hopefully keep some electrolytes and all of that stuff. And then she started throwing that up, and they gave her a popsicle so that she could slowly get stuff, and she threw that up. So they decided she needed more serious help, and they sent her to Children's Mercy here in Kansas City. And that, because she was with IV fluids and stuff, that had to be done via ambulance and pediatric ambulance. I was like, I can just drive her, and they're like, no. That's cute. They didn't quite say it like that, but and also at that point, when your kiddo is that sick, you're very happy to have help and professionals who are watching out for their vitals and all that stuff. So, but in the ambulance ride, they had those fleece tied blankets. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but they're basically a large piece of fleece, 2 large pieces of fleece, and then they're tied on all 4 sides. And she got to pick. They had a couple different options, and she got to pick one, and they wrapped her in that as they were in the ambulance, and then they gave it to her to keep. And those were done by volunteers as well. So that kiddo has been the recipient of a couple of blankets that were hand done at some really critical moments, which is so, so sweet. I thought of another one. My cousin started a charity, and this one is heartbreaking. She actually lost twins, and they were just born too early to be saved. And so she started a charity that provides hospitals with really, really small handmade hats and blankets. Like, the blankets are like 12 by 12. And they send those to hospitals, neonatal care centers all over the country for parents who have such small babies that they will be able to wrap them in something made with love. Yeah, her story is heartbreaking, but I forgot the name of that one. So that's another good half story here. For those of you who are following along at home, apparently that is kind of my jam today, is half stories. So yeah, I'm a big fan of those, of just making handmade things for moments in people's lives that are where they could feel a little bit vulnerable or alone, and those a little late tuning in. Oh, sometimes it kills me that these things pop up so quickly. Welcome. We are crocheting. I didn't get to read your whole message because I was talking. I'm sorry. Making Kevin's scarf and talking about charity knitting. So welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. yeah, I've been the blessed recipient of that a couple of times, and I feel like handmade things just feel warmer in not necessarily a temperature way, but just in a humanity way. And that's nice to be a part of, to have a hobby that can bless people's lives like that. Okay, whoop, that is the wrong stitch. Okay, look at me chatting my way through this and missing things. Okay, there we go. So if any of you have some charity organizations that you would like to share, please do so. I will probably do a whole other video and talk and share the actual links for Warm Up America with their baby blanket drive right now. And if I do end up doing the swatch videos, this is Kevin's blanket so far. If I do end up doing those swatch videos, which I'm pretty excited to do, because there's some pretty cool yarns coming out and I'm excited to try them. There were some colorways that were just so pretty, and I thought, you know, I need more yarn, like I need another hole in the head. Anyone who crochets a lot probably is the same, but it would be fun to do some swatches to see how the colors pool with different stitches, and that could be a really cool way to use that yarn and not just have it sit in my stash forever, but to make some of those 7x9 rectangles and then send those off to Warm Up America. Or maybe if everyone here at the channel wanted to send them together, we could put them together and then donate them locally. That would be really neat too. So that would, I don't know, just some fun ideas. I have a little water here. Nothing exciting this Sunday afternoon for me, but daylight savings. Whew, that came early. I keep wondering if we're going to get rid of daylight savings, and we never do. But I would be all for it, because I feel like, I mean, my kids are a little bigger now, but it has been such a sleep disruptor for my whole life. And I really, really noticed it when my kids were little. I was like, why is the government making my life so difficult twice a year for no reason? I mean, I do appreciate that there is light a little longer during the day. I do get it, but also it is a painful transition for kids. So, okay, we are almost done with the one long side, and I'm kind of regretting this choice to add another row, but we're going to keep going and see if we can finish this up for a little Kevin here. Kevin, you've been very patient waiting, and I appreciate that. Okay, see what we've got. And the last couple times I was on live, I had people joining from the New England states. Oh, I do like how that's kind of making, so you can see on this row that this side that I'm actually working on, that's kind of straightened out, and this other side is still kind of wavy from the continuous join. So yeah, I do like the way it's turning out, even though I'm wishing it was already done. I am pretty pleased with the way it's looking, so no regrets, I guess. So where are you all joining me from? If you want to pipe in, I would love to hear, and I will try to watch the screen a little better so I don't miss comments. That is unfortunately one of the, I thought I had figured out a trick for that where I pull it up on my other phone, but then it tends to mess up the sound, and that is not good either. So Melissa, hello, welcome. YouTube, it's fun, isn't it? Actually, I really love YouTube. So I have considered, and I don't know if anyone else has done this already or not, but I've been considering getting the YouTube Pro, where you actually pay every month to not have to see commercials. From Mississippi. Oh, Miss Melissa, I remember that you are from Mississippi. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We talked about magnolias last time you were on and I was on. That is amazing. So I'm considering getting YouTube Pro because I would love to not have commercials, and I don't think it benefits me as a creator. Like, I don't think me purchasing Pro makes it so that you guys don't have to watch commercials on my videos, but I think it does benefit me in being a consumer. Then I don't have to watch commercials, which I'll take one. If I can't have both, I'll take one, and that would be really lovely. So I'm wondering if anyone else has YouTube Pro. Have you found it worth it? I can't remember the price point. I believe it was like $15 or something for the family. Maybe it was more for the family plan. I was thinking of doing the family plan so that my kiddos could also not watch commercials. And I was actually thinking of canceling Netflix. So I tend to rotate through. Oh, there's my dog. Hi, Rosie. How are you? Hello. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Do you need a little space here? There you go. Are you going to come by Kevin? Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Well, you can see her little paw. She is not going to join all the way, apparently. But I tend to rotate through my subscriptions, so I don't do all of them at a time because I don't really have time to watch all the things at once. So like if I know of some good stuff that's going to be on Netflix or some shows that they're going to have, I tend to do that. And then I will switch to Amazon Prime, or Disney Plus or Hulu or Paramount. I mean, there are so many right now. I do Walmart Plus, and that has been a huge boon as a single working mom to be able to just have things delivered to my door. That is amazing. So, ooh, this is looking pretty good. I'm loving it. And that one comes with either Paramount Plus or what's the other one that it comes with? It's either Paramount Plus or something like that. This is another good half story. So I signed up for one of those two. I can't remember which one. You can switch it occasionally, like every 3 months or something you can switch. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep Walmart Plus, but I felt like it was worth it while I was real busy. Ooh, I hope you guys can't hear that, but my dog is apparently eating something that is... We always say that Rosie is the most cat-like dog ever, and she really is. Like, she does that occasionally where I think it's just like a hairball. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Like, she doesn't... Anyway, she's a little crazy. And she loves the sun. She just goes and sits in the sun. And yeah, she is a very cat-like dog, which is... She's delightful. Okay, so this is what the final end is going to look like, and I am really liking that. Okay, here we go. Almost done. We're so excited. If you're just joining us, we are finishing Kevin's St. Patrick's Day scarf. It's about time, as the great Lizzo would say. Well, she would add in another word, but I'm trying to keep this family friendly. And we've been talking about various charity crochet options. If you know of any that you love, I would love to hear about those. And I do think I'm going to do another video where I talk specifically about them and give links, and that will be fun, I think, because I would love to hear other people's ideas, and a whole video dedicated to that would help for other people to be able to post their ideas on that too. So this cup is just the Yeti 20-ounce one, I think. And this lid is new for it. I had the one that is kind of like goes back and forth, and it's actually got a handle. It's some of the cups, like the big old Stanleys that are 40 ounce, those are, in my opinion, way too large. This one is like the perfect size for all the things. So I'm really quite pleased with this new lid. I've had the cup for a while, but the lid is an addition and a positive one to be able to drink from the straw instead of the sipping, although only for cold stuff, but you know, it's getting to be summer soon. All good. Okay, where are we at here? Let's take a look-see. Okay. Ooh, I am loving it. What do you guys think? Won't Kevin look dapper? So I was really hoping that these would look a little more like 4-leaf clovers than they do. I think I could have done something like maybe to emphasize the gap here, but short of that, I think it just is what it is, and it's still going to look really nice on him, don't you think? Yeah, Kevin, you're going to look very dapper, very dapper. And who knows, maybe year 1 with Kevin will be all scarves for holidays, and maybe year 2 he will get a hat or some other accessory. Who knows? Yeah, a scarf was about all I could manage this year, but maybe next year I will have more time. I just don't know. Good old Kevin. Does anyone else have a porch goose out there, or is this just me? Next week I am not going, sorry Kevin, next week we are not going to be focused on Kevin's wardrobe. We are going to be doing other Granny Square stuff. I'm not sure what. Maybe we will focus on baby blankets, because I do need to finish this one and I would like to do one more. But I could also see me maybe bringing out my magnolia blanket that I've been working on in the background, and I haven't shown it yet, but maybe that would be a great time to do so, is to show it off on a live. That would be kind of fun. Premiere it, if you will. And I'm going to be coming out with a pattern for that and everything, so I don't know if I'll have time to get through the pattern writing before that for next week, but I would like to do it in the spring, summertime, because I feel like it's just a blanket that would go so well on the back of a couch, or as just a throw blanket in the spring and summer decor. I am really liking the way this is turning out. So I guess that wasn't a mistake to do the extra row around it, because it is kind of pulling it nice and straight, kind of evening it out. You can see here where it's a little bit wavy, and then this one where it's nice and straight. So that's working well. I am still feeling like I might want to do the fringe on the bottom, the little tassels with all these different colors. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different greens, and that would look pretty cool. What do you guys think? Fringe or no fringe? If you have an opinion, one way or another, please feel free to post your thoughts on that. I am leaning towards the fringe because I just think it will be another nice pop of green, and that's the whole point of St. Patrick's Day, right? Lots of green. So would love to hear if you have a thought that you want to share on that. Okay, I am going to finish this off and then pop it onto my friend Kevin here and call it a day. Okay, thank you all for joining me. This has been fun, and hopefully we will be able to do the Magnolia blanket premiere soon. That would be a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I will be able to make the pattern by next week or not, but I sure as heck can give it a try, can't I? We have a couple of big things happening here. We have kiddo getting some wisdom teeth removed. So I will have a little more time at home, but maybe not a little more time to work on this stuff. You never can tell with kiddos and surgery. So that will be interesting to see. Okay. I think I'm going to pop off to finish the rest of this, although maybe I should just keep going. I don't know. If you are a fan of this sweatshirt, it is by Passionate Kelsey, and it is available on her website, Passionate Goods, I think .com. And it is one of the softest sweatshirts I have ever had. It's like 80% cotton and 20% poly. And it is just, if you're a fiber fan like I am, having all the different types of ways of yarn can be presented is a lot of fun. So I'm a big fan of this shirt, and I tend to wear it way too often. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you later.